obviously, you know, words really don't describe the feeling in that locker room and in that stadium. You know, for the better part of 2.5 years, the Rebel fans and kids and players and administration have you know, had to put up with some disappointing times. And, you know, we're not there yet, and nor do we think we are. But today we were, and you know, we were good enough in 4 quarters today to win an SEC game, and we're sure, you know, without sounding overly emotional. But one of the things our staff wants so badly to give to the Rebel fans is some good times, and you know, I know that they're going to enjoy the Grove today, and that makes it for a special weekend for me.
Raise your hand if you have a question.
Coach, you have to be proud of the resilience of your team coming off that heartbreaking loss last week and then following up with their first SEC win.
Yeah, it was real disappointing last weekend, but let's move on from that and talk about the resilience. Exactly what you said. I really didn't have a doubt when I saw him Sunday. I thought our coaching staff did a great job of moving past that, putting that in the trash can, learning from the mistakes, taking the positives from it, building on those, and putting together an effective game plan against what I consider still a very talented Auburn team. They're not, you know, obviously something not exactly right there, but they've got a lot of talent, and they scare you when you watch them on film. So I'm real proud of the resilience and the leadership of our team.
How do you drop the somersault there? What's that called?
I'm
the
sorry?
Somersault play.
Yeah,
how do
we
you
call
that one out?
I think we'll just call that touchdown Jesus. But you play to the whistle blows, you know, and that's what he did. And believe it or not, you know, Jeff, it's I never feel real good about replays, but I had a total piece about that one. I don't know why. I just felt like this one is going for us, you know, and it did.
You talked about resilience. You talked about being down 3, then the field goal at the end of the first half, and then scoring quickly in the third quarter. How big that sequence was?
Well, the dang first half, we didn't get the ball, and some of it's our fault. And then we had 2 negative plays on 2 possessions. We really only had it 4 possessions, and I knew we could move it on them. I knew we had you know, good plans. I got really conservative in the last part of the third quarter, first part of the fourth. Just didn't want to put Bo in a position where he would maybe make a mistake, and he didn't. I got to give him a lot of credit. He was 17 for 22, took care of the football for us, and didn't put us in too many bad situations. And so I'm proud of that. He continues to improve. But I got a little conservative, but I really knew we could move the football on them. And we sure had a couple chances there to put it away, and there may have been a drop here or a negative play here that kind of stopped us. But the defense really, they didn't play well the first half. They didn't fit gaps properly. They knew that at halftime. We challenged them. In the second half, I thought they played outstanding.
Go back to Jeff and just talk about his game overall. Back-to-back weeks now with 20-plus carries. It's huge overall.
Yeah, he's a guy that we've got to get the football and get touches. And, you know, he's proven to be a guy that takes care of the football when he's asked to carry it, and to be effective in what we do with him. And so, real pleased with his game and his maturity. He's a guy that when we first got here that we knew he had a long way to go in a lot of areas, and he's made consistent strides. Still has a ways to go. He's one of my favorites, but you know, I couldn't be more pleased with the way he's performing on the field.
How frustrating was it for you personally to keep hearing about an SEC losing streak that you didn't contribute to much?
Yeah.
And how satisfying to them?
It was frustrating because I think, you know, I put more pressure on myself than probably anybody else does. But when you would hear about it, you know, you can't help but feel like you're part of it. And even though, you know, I know that I really wasn't for a long period of time, but you can't help but feel the hurt and the anxiety that people feel. And then we didn't finish the job last Saturday, and so that kind of built some pressure for this week that I didn't talk to our team about it or anything, but internally, you know, I would feel that way sometimes. And, you know, so I'm very, very relieved today that we were able to get the job done.
Throw to Bo.
Can you talk about Bo's performance? Coming for 4 touchdowns, light of how his week started?
Yeah,
And what he's
you know,
what he's had to deal with this week?
people really don't know everything that went on with our week. It was, I was wondering there, could it get to, first Monday night, Bo's sister has to be airlifted to Vanderbilt with a broken neck, and then Jim Wiseman's mom passes, and then Crime Dog has to go and have heart surgery, stents put in, and we had a little issue or two with some of our kids, and I had to put some discipline on a few of them, and not play some of them for periods of time, and so the whole week was kind of filled with some concern. And Bo, his week obviously started out very concerning, and Tuesday he was not himself, but his family and thankfully the doctors did a great job and expect her to have a full recovery and have movement full recovery. So they're very blessed with that, and then his performance today, as I said, to go, I believe it was 17 for 22, 226, no touchdowns, and protected the football and also ran a couple touchdowns. I thought, you and I have talked quite a bit on trying to improve from things we didn't do well in the previous games, and I do think he's making strides in the right direction.
What can this win do for your team going forward in terms of confidence and knowing how to win games?
Well, winning's contagious, and confidence is huge. We can talk about us not having depth at some places. We're banged up right now. We need this week off. We're beat up, and had some kids not finish the game today and had to call on some others to finish. So I think it's huge. I think winning can be contagious, and not only with our current team, but there's a lot of good recruits here today, and they enjoyed what they saw, I think, and enjoy the chemistry and the way we're trying to build our program. So I think it's obviously big.
In the first touchdown, it looked like you, the timeout put a kibosh on that for a minute. You went right back.
Very observant.
What was the thinking? What was the thinking there?
Well, I didn't go right back to it. I ran a play first, and then we really felt like when we went that personnel group, we were going to get man coverage, and they've been pretty consistent with that. And obviously, when you go man coverage, I don't know not many teams assign somebody to the quarterback, and so I knew first time we got in the red zone close, we wanted to try it with that personnel grouping, and thank goodness they stuck to what they had done in the past.
Were you a little surprised that worked so quickly, though, after they probably saw what it...
Well, we've done several things out of that personnel grouping that I don't know how they would have had any clue that was coming, even because we run the truck sweep out of that quick break huddle and other things that we've done. We've done about 6 things out of that, so I don't think there's... I just wanted to get man coverage, and felt like that's what we would get with that.
Who didn't finish the game for you? Hilton?
Aaron Morris, Hilton.
Morris.
Stanford's, it looks like he's going to have surgery. We already lost Collins. Jamal did not finish, I don't believe. So we've got some. I hadn't talked to Pat, but he'll be the MVP over this next week to try to get everybody back healthy.
Mike Berry gets the big interception to kind of seal the thing. You ever seen him run that fast?
As soon as I went to him, I said, Mike, you look real athletic on that. And he did. He caught the ball naturally. My immediate mind goes to, Lord, just get on the ground because I can see somebody coming from behind him, and fortunately he took care of it, and could not happen to a better guy. And he is what you want in a student athlete, and I'm proud for him.
Coach, you kind of admitted that last week you kind of second-guessed yourself a little bit in the 4th inches call.
Well, let me be clear again. I second-guessed because it didn't work, and not going for it.
And going today, you had that 4th and 1 and went out of the shotgun. What was the thought process with going out of the shotgun with Mackey instead of?
Well, felt like Mackey could get us a yard. Obviously, felt good about that play, and we had 2 guys that totally whiffed on their blocks. We got to execute at some point, but I've said again, and I've said once, I'll say it again. I'm going to try to put our kids in a position to be aggressive, to win games right now in the state that we're in, and felt like Mackey could get us a yard. Obviously, it didn't work.
Coach, you talked about playing a complete game. How close to what you wanted was this game, or was it what you were looking for?
the first half, our run fits were just bad, you know, and at times. And, you know, we gave up an onside kick. And we just talked about it, knew it was coming. Not knew, but, you know, knew it was a good time to do it if they're going to do it. And so you can't be pleased with that period. But as far as the kids coming out after half and finishing, I'd say we probably played the better part of 3 quarters. Pretty good football.
Talk about minimal penalties for the most part today. Took care of the ball. How important was that as far as having a complete game?
Well, in our stuff, it's very important. You know, and again, I keep saying the state that we're in, every possession just seems so magnified with us right now. Every penalty is magnified because, you know, the margin of error for us, we're not going to roll out there and just be better than people right now. And we understand that. So the margin of error is so small that we can't afford to be penalized heavily or turn the ball over and overcome those things. So I think that's, you know, very important. And our kids, for most of the year, you know, we've been pretty penalty free. And, you know, so we kind of understand that. We hadn't taken care of the ball as well, but we did today.
Coach, talk a little bit about momentum, the momentum of a victory like this and the momentum of being 4-3 going into the bye week and what can be built off that.
Again, I just think getting that monkey off where people don't have to hear, our kids don't have to hear, our students, our fans, our administration don't have to hear how long will this, you know, this streak in the SEC go. I think that's big to get that out of the way. We don't have to talk about that anymore. Now let's go talk about getting ready to compete against Arkansas and the other teams on our schedule. And I think winning again breeds confidence. And you know, one of the things at the places I've been that I think have been somewhat effective at doing is building confidence. And we'll certainly use this every way we can to make our kids confident and feel good about who they are and what we're doing headed into the next few games.